Today, we're gonna give you a full driving review of our 2024 Jeep Wrangler 2-door with 35s, an 1.5-inch lift kit, and stock 345 gears. All right, guys, well, you seem to like these reviews. So we did this on my 2022 Jeep Wrangler JL after we did the 37s and the 3.5-inch kit and 456 gears that came on the Extreme Recon, and everyone seemed to like that video. It's kind of just a good way for us to show what the overall driving experience is, but I think on a 2-door like this, it's a little bit more interesting just because it does come stock with a factory 345 gears. So that's a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm either used to a Rubicon with 410s, Rubicon with 456s, and the 4-door. So we've actually got a little bit less weight here, but we do have the 2.0 liter turbo. We've got the stock 345 gears, no re-gear yet. And we're running 35 by 12.5 by 17 Mickey Thompson Baja Boss A tires at about, what do you say, 34, 35 PSI.
Yeah.
So we haven't lowered the PSI yet. Let's see what mileage you're getting. It says 18. It says you're averaging 18 for the past half tank, so you're not doing bad.
Okay. It's been cold.
It's been colder, a little bit better for the turbo, but yeah. So let's just kind of do a driving review. I want to see what gear we're shifting in, and it feels like you still have enough pep. That's the first thing I noticed. Like, I don't feel like underpowered. Back in my day when we had 4-cylinder TJs with no turbo and you throw a 35 on there, you were shot. You were not picking up speed. You weren't getting anywhere. You rarely use 6th gear or 5th gear because they are manuals.
Yeah.
You just weren't going anywhere. The 8-speed automatic transmission really makes up for even the gearing and the tire size changes. So that's really beneficial with this, is that you do have an 8-speed automatic. My gosh, this lift is so smooth though.
It is, yeah.
Like, this feels like, well, they say the ride right kit, but it feels like a stock ride.
No, it's not too bumpy or not too...
It's smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It feels like planted. That's the biggest thing when you get the Jeep up in the air. You want it to feel planted. This does feel very planted here. And, you know, instead of 35s, it's not... The road noise isn't bad.
Yeah.
You have a soft top. Yeah, guys, the ride first impressions, I have not driven this since the tires. No, because you drove it home.
You haven't driven it with the tires.
With the lift I did, but with the tires I haven't.
Yeah.
This is a smooth ride.
Yeah.
This is a really nice ride.
That's because of those all-terrains.
It's not as aggressive as a mud terrain right away, but, I mean, this feels more like a stock ride with the capabilities of more flex, more traction. It does not feel kind of all over the place.
And that was like the biggest thing, because I wanted to have a more, daily driver.
Well, you want to drive this thing every day. I mean, you have 4,999 miles. We're going to roll over 5,000.
Yeah.
In like you did that in 2 months. So
a lot of driving in this.
These Jeeps, that's the one thing I don't think a lot of people do understand, but some people don't. Like how much we drive our Jeeps.
Yeah.
We drive them to just about every vendor, I mean, we drive them everywhere. They don't get trailered. Hopefully next year we have a change of that. We can start trailering them, but for now, they get driven. That's what they're supposed to be done. I don't know. I feel like if you're going to buy a vehicle and pay as much as you do for these things, get in and drive them.
Yeah, get her out there.
But no, it feels smooth. It feels planted. The steering wheel's doing really nice. We got a professional alignment down there from B&M Off-Road and Joe at LockedN'Loaded 4x4. But I mean, what else is different than mine? It's a little bit less pep, I will tell you that. It has a little bit less pep than my 2-liter turbo does, but I'm also at a 456 gear ratio. Yeah. So basically what that equates to is your wheel is for every time your wheel spins once, your ring and pinion is spinning that many times as your gear ratio. So it's a ratio. I know everyone just says like, oh, you have a 456 gear. No, it's 4.56 to 1. So it's like the amp, what are those, the 2 dots there?
Yeah,
4.56 to 1. So for every time your wheel turns once, that ring and pinion is turning 4.56 times.
Yeah.
So basically by increasing your gearing like that, you're spinning more in there and giving more power to your outside. It's easier for your engine to make more power out of it.
Yeah.
Now, there's pros and cons. The pro of having a lower ratio like you do here, you're going to get better fuel economy. It's a given. You're not spinning as fast. The RPMs aren't spinning as fast to get up to a certain speed.
I didn't realize that was a factor.
Yeah, you're going to get better fuel economy. Well, there's like a perfect balance. You can have a perfect gear ratio for basically perfect driving capabilities. You can match, so say you want to be at like 2,400 RPM at 75 miles an hour, you can calculate what gear ratio will get you that with your tire size. You can actually do a mathematic formula. But the 345s, you're going to get a little bit better fuel economy, but you're gonna lose more power. The 8-speed autos like we have in these JLs, it's kind of tricky lately because you don't feel like you lose that much power anymore because you have, well, going from a 5-speed manual back in the day, you have 3 more gears for that Jeep to utilize and find kind of the best power band and the best way to go. But I think what we need to do with yours is just kind of figure out what would be the perfect setup. Now, I'm thinking for a re-gear for this, I think it has enough pep right now. I mean, I got on it a little bit, and it feels like there's enough pep to it. But I feel like if you're in an off-roading situation, that low gear, you don't want to be constantly searching for the right gear.
Yeah.
You want to be in gear and know it's good to go. So I'm kind of thinking in this Jeep, I would probably lean towards a 456 gear ratio.
Okay.
So
up to yours.
That would get me up to the what I have. And the reason being, I mean, in an extreme recon, Jeep says, hey, if you're going to do a 35, we recommend a 456 because they comes from the factory that way.
Especially with a 4-door.
And you have a 2-door, so you're going to get a little bit more pep out of it. You could go up to a 488, but the other thing you have to consider, and I don't want to make this whole re-gearing video, but that's a big thing talking about driving, is everyone asked in the first video, are you going to re-gear? You know, and the one that we did with mine.
Yeah.
When you go higher in the tooth count, so when you go like 456, 488, 513, 538, there are more teeth in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're making the teeth smaller, which makes them weaker. So, you know, you add more teeth into anything and it makes it weaker. It doesn't have that much surface area for contact. So it makes it a little bit weaker if you're going to do some extreme things.
Yeah.
You're not going to go rock bouncing with this. And if we do, we're going to upgrade the whole axle assemblies. But that's one thing to consider is that if you do go higher, as the higher you go in the ratio, you've got to stuff more teeth in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways, this Jeep, with the setup we have here, the overall driving impressions, the steering is tight. Everything feels very controlled. I'm not getting a ton of sway. The steering stabilizer, the Fox ATS on there, they do wonders on the front end. We do have Fox 2.0s, aluminum bodies on here. They do ride a little bit firmer, but in my opinion, for the daily driving you're to be doing, Ryan, I almost like to feel a more planted ride like this because when you do need to make traffic maneuvers, you don't feel like, whoa, like you're not kind of flailing all over the place. And you also keep it a little bit more controlled when you go to brake like that. The nose isn't diving down and kind of recoiling back and forth. It's a very controlled and planted ride in this.
So you think I need to upgrade brakes down the line if I would ever go bigger, or?
If you would go bigger, I would say it would probably be an upgrade. Now, the JL brakes are a massive upgrade even from the JK. They are a great size. They're a lot bigger in the rotor as well as the caliper up front. The rears are pretty close to the same, but the fronts are a lot bigger. And they're rated up to a 35. I mean, the Extreme Recons do come with a bigger master cylinder up underneath the hood, but if we ever decided to upgrade, maybe we could pick up a brake company and then just do them across the fleet, do all the Jeeps. I don't think for this, because you have a 2-door, a little bit less weight, that you're going to need one.
Absolutely going to need one.
Unless you feel like it's not enough. If you feel like it's not enough, then we can upgrade it. And maybe that's as simple as just rotors and pads. Right. Some more aggressive rotors and pads, not the whole assembly. Yeah. But I mean, brake upgrades get expensive. I mean, Brembos, Willwoods, you're talking $3-4 grand.
Yeah.
There goes your base budget. But I mean, then the same thing though. You didn't start off with a Rubicon price. You're not starting off at a $60,000 Jeep. You're starting off at a $34,000 Jeep. So adding on a $2,000 lift kit, $3 or $4 grand in wheels and tires, and the brakes like that, you don't feel as guilty.
Yeah.
And now you have Brembos or Willwoods or something really crazy. But in the future, I would say for this, I think a re-gear would be nice. It would be nice. It would give you a little bit more pep back into it. But it doesn't feel like, I mean, like it doesn't feel unresponsive.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? So right now it's very drivable. And that's just the benefit of having the 2-liter turbo is that it does make a lot more power than your regular. The ride is incredible. And I'm not just saying that. Like, we're not sponsored by Mickey Thompson.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing this ride comes from. Like, we buy these tires. I mean, now, they helped us out, B&M Auto, B&M Off-Road. They hooked us up with a set of wheels and tires. But Mickey Thompson doesn't support us at all. I mean, I wish they would because we love their tires. But these are smooth because it checks off, like, all the boxes. Like, they ride smooth. They're an all-terrain. I think he said they have a 55,000-mile warranty. That's a huge warranty. Like, that's a lot of miles. They're snowflake rated, so they're rated for the snow. In PA, that's fantastic. And as Joe said in the last video, your wife can drive it. If you have kids that are old enough to drive, they can get in, and it's comfortable like driving a regular vehicle. It's not big mud tires that are humming and they don't stop and they slide in the snow. like what I have. I mean, mine, the Baja Boss MTs don't, but yeah, these are a smooth ride. Second thing is, I do want to mention before we're too late in this video, I do have my seatbelt on. It's just behind me. So
Yeah.
before we have anyone saying I don't have my seatbelt on, the mic will end up rubbing it, and then it goes like... You got to get all factors in. So we're going to hit a road where 55, 60, 65 miles an hour and kind of feel how planted it is. And also listen to some road noise a little bit.
Yeah, ask them, like, you know, what is... has our series kind of, like, sparked some interest back into the two-door? That's, like, one of the biggest things I feel
Are
like...
we increasing two-door sales globally?
I hope so. This is...
I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't even think I've told you this off of camera. Like, seeing this two-door, like, kind of makes me envious of a two-door. I'm like, this would be, like...
Yeah.
To me, this just screams Jeep.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for it to be summer again, and I know a couple of our followers, they've already been saying, can't wait to see you next year at Daytona, can't wait to see that, because they, like, it's a two-door, like, it's a Jeep.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, it's just, to me, I see this, like, and I know you will, too, like, stripped down all summer, tube doors on, like, top
all
off, like, and that's kind of the two-door lifestyle, but you still want to be able to drive it, make sure it's comfortable. I mean, so here we are, we're about 45, 46 miles an hour. Road noise is still manageable. It's louder. It's a two-door soft top with basically no sound deadening. So, and we're going to get behind someone that's not even going to go the speed limit. So, 60 mile an hour, and we're going over some bumpy Pennsylvania roads. This is what our taxpayer dollar just go towards. It's smooth. It feels planted. I mean, as it has the entire ride, but I don't feel like it's out of place. I don't feel like it's uncontrollable. The steering's really tight. That's the one thing. We got the caster angle really dialed in with this, and it feels tight. It feels controlled. And these roads, Ryan, like these bumps that I'm going over, like they might not feel like a lot, but I've been in some other Jeeps, like my old TJs when I used to come out here. You'd hit these and like shake, especially this. There's this bridge coming right up here. Like this one. Wait till like this one. Like, that's a decent-sized bump, but it didn't really affect the way I'm driving. So that's the one big thing. The daily driving with this kit and the specific setup is it's comfortable. I think we could probably lower your tire pressure just a little bit, but right now it doesn't feel like it's too firm.
The tires, but it sounds like it did when I had the stock ones on. The more noises from the soft top.
That's where you're getting the wind noise from. Yeah, you can't really hear the tires. And that's one thing that was neat when we mounted and balanced the tires is he said that when you did that on the Hunter Road Force, you could hear what the tires will sound like at speed, and they weren't even loud in there. So we're here where our channel name is. We're on a dirt road. Well, this is a gravel road. But just kind of wanted to feel, you know, on here there's obviously a lot more ruts and bumps, and feel what the ride is for some of these kind of quicker juts and quicker ruts. Because that's ultimately a very important factor on what you go with. You know, it's great if it can absorb the larger road ruts, but the smaller ones like this, as these have been kind of forming for a long time, and then they run down through here with all sorts of tamping machines and that. But yeah, this is absorbing a lot of the smaller ruts and bumps. We're going about 20, 25 miles an hour. That's the speed limit back here. And it feels planted still.
Yeah.
Yet again. And this isn't like just a hype video for everything that we've installed on this. We've done everything kind of purposely. So it's absorbing the little variations, which is really important. Haven't heard many rocks kick up either. So that's nice. The tires are doing exactly what they're supposed to. And now here's a jumbo truck that's going to come down on our secluded road. See, here's the washout. See, feel this. See, like, that's not even bad. Let's wave to this guy. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this gets washed out through here. You can see where all the runoff. And we just went up a rougher section. This isn't like on the trail. I'm just saying this is some bigger potholes and stuff. And it still felt planted. It didn't feel like it's like a buckboard in here. See, here's a big... There you go. There's one for you. So here we'll hit these a little bit. It's going to move you around a little bit, but... So some final thoughts on the driving review today. Obviously, I think the Jeep performed extremely well. I feel planted. I feel comfortable. The ride on the highway, in the city, and on some side trails like this is obviously fantastic. You know, as we drive it a little bit more, it will settle in too as well. And honestly, Ryan's only put a couple hundred miles on since the lift kit and the wheels and tires, but the ride out of these tires, the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs, the wheels, I mean, the lift kit, the 1.5 inch, it's riding perfect. So we're really happy with the way that everything is going, and we just wanted to give you a driving review and kind of talk about some of our thoughts. But some of our thoughts also run into what's next for this little two-door build. You know, what do you guys want to see coming, you know, in the future or for the 2024 season? I mean, we're right at the end of November. We got Thanksgiving coming right up, and I think that we're just getting closer. The shop's almost done. We're actually running over today to dig the underground power out to the shop, so that's why I got my tan pants on, ready to work today. And what do you guys want to see next to this? I'm thinking bumpers, winch, lights, the whole works, but others might say graphics. Others might say throw a hardtop on it. If you guys know of a hardtop for a two-door JL that's in good shape, and it's within a couple states of us, we're in Pennsylvania, so New York, Vermont, I mean anywhere, just let us know, because Ryan is searching for one. So just drop us a comment or send me an email if you know of a two-door hardtop, or you even have one, because we'd probably pick it up from you. Just for the winter. The soft tops are great for the summer, but the winter time they're not. I personally love the way that it's turning out. It looks like a Jeep now, which is fantastic. And yeah, just let us know what you want to see in the comments down below. This has been a fun driving review, and we're going to continue to drive it a little bit and take it on home. But until next time, my name's Matt with Dirt Road CRED, and I want you to get out there and earn yours.